Where we is?
We're at the Canyon Street Grill.
And what are we about to do?
Eat.
We are about to eat. And then we're going to go hiking.
This is Betty Boop. She's a burger with a ton of cheese.
Several types of cheese even. Right, Coffin Lakes. This is the Watkins Creek trailhead, which leads to the Coffin Lakes. Met one of my coworkers, gave us a little bit of beta on the trail, said he saw a bear, caught some fish.
Our mom's that yet.
Yeah, they'll see it in the video. Aslan is going with us, which is actually a...
Resting. He knows how this trail does.
This is my backpack, which looks very bulky, but it's mostly flies and a bear can. So nothing's heavy, it's just got a lot of things.
Very heavy.
It's not light. It would be a lie to say that it's light. But it looks like most of the people on this trail are people who plan to go to Yellowstone, and since it's closed due to flooding, are all out here.
Much like us.
Much like us. At least I see a parked pass in that car, and I think I see one in that RV as well. So. Alright, so I just got back from a jaunt back to the car from about a third of a mile into the trail. We realized we'd forgotten a lighter, so I dropped my pack with Marianne, power walked back to the car. But now we're back on track. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, so we should have plenty of time. It's beautiful. Very pretty place.
You seeking it? We're gonna have like paintball gun bruises
right?
when we leave.
So it's been hailing pretty hard. We set the tent up, we just kind of dropped in a random place. We were hiking, the storm started getting worse. We basically just dropped it. We looked around for any trees that were dead. There aren't any that are dead. So we just dropped in a place with no dead trees that wasn't right next to a creek. Is basically how our campsite selection came down. We're probably going to be completely on top of each other by the end of the night, but it's alright.
You're going to touch Me.
It might happen. Eslin, what's your hail opinion? Oh, there's some lightning. Yep, no, that'll be some thunder in here in just a second.
Yay.
But we're down in a valley in a pretty consistent stand of trees. We're not near the tallest tree, we're not near the shortest tree, we're not in a meadow, we're not on top of a ridge.
Dead trees.
No dead trees nearby, so if you're finding this footage, know that we did do our due diligence, or tried to at least, choose the safest place.
Especially with like a 2-minute warning that the storm was coming.
Yep. But anyway, so we're settled in for the night, which I guess will be probably about 12 to 14 hours before we can really get moving again. So here we are. Alright, so we got the bear hung, well, the cord hung up. We also have a bear canister. There's only a few things that we're actually going to have to hang. And kind of turned into a nice evening, if a bit cold after the storm. Our tent's in those stand of thicker spruces over there, where it's dark. And that's Coffin Creek down there. Coffin Lake is our target, which we may still angle for in the morning. "10-mile round trip hike while pregnant with 2,000 feet of elevation gain."
Oh, they're like stuck.
And then sleeping on the ground in the middle.
This is our tent ready.
This way, Eslin.
You wanna go to bed? Right here.
He's like, "What's that doing there? Forgot about that." All right. It's very humid because it's rained extensively. We're sleeping at, let me see if I can turn the camera up. This is more or less flat level. So we're sleeping at a pretty steep angle. Tent's obviously tensioned on the side. We're trying to kind of move. And so I've stuffed stuff under my sleeping pad, and I hope to kind of flatten it a little bit, which I actually feel relatively flat right now, but
I don't.
but nonetheless, we're sheltered in where we are. Eslin's certainly enjoying it. We got a good white noise machine outside. That's Coffin Creek.
It's a good 20 to 9.
Nice. It's still light.
We finally killed some time.
I know it's actually an appropriate bedtime. It's just there's still probably 40 minutes of daylight.
Yeah, at least.
Sunset is probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but yeah. But tomorrow we may go up to the lake. We may turn around and head back. We're just going to kind of assess what the weather looks like.
See how desperately we need some hot pizza.
Exactly. What we might do is leave our stuff in its bare, safe places and sort of do a lighter weight jaunt up the mountain to the lake. Maybe throw up casts. And
1.5 miles and 2 miles away.
So it'd be a 3-mile round trip. So, give or take.
What?
I love you. Thanks for coming out here, way out into the woods with me while pregnant.
I love to do things with you.
Thanks for doing life with me.
Life is one of those things I love to do with you as it comes to pass. Once we get there.
Alright, so it's sleeting, where the squirrels are angry about where we're sleeping, because I think we're on top of their den. Aslan's over there.
Shivering because he won't snuggle me.
But today we're going to try and make it up to the lake. See what happens. So, bear hang is all still here.
Survived.
It's all wet, of course.
This is a good bag though. Everything inside should be like water resistant, and this bag dries pretty quickly. So hopefully it won't be. It's definitely a better option than the
Packs.
packs.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. That's probably going to be my new standard operating procedure, is to bring this bag, because it packs into that little pouch, and that's just, it's super convenient. I think the only thing I'll do different next time is we'll tie around the whole bag instead of the straps. That way it gives us a little bit more height. I don't give them poison.
But he has eaten more than either of us today.
That's true. Stop. Eat it. You eat the cookies? God, I've done that in my life.
A little wet, a little dirty. Very cold.
Very cold. Freezing cold.
And this dry spot over here is where our tent was. And that cute spot right there is Aslan. Probably not much more than an hour to get there. And it's still cold. And it's still wet. What do you think, Aslan? Are you cold and wet? Yes, that's the answer. And that's actually an airplane. I was about to evacuate our open spot. Well, it is snowing, but we've arrived at Coffin Lake. Well, it's beautiful, but there are plenty of fish. I'm just not sure I'm willing to put up the effort to catch them. I think if I keep casting out here, but timber comes right to the bank. There's almost nowhere to get a good back cast, and I can't feel my hands. It's just miserable. But beautiful, but absolutely miserable. Like it was more pleasant in February than it is right now. So, to be 100% honest, this is one of the most miserable hikes I've been on ever. It's beautiful, it's nice, it's 34 degrees and has been raining solidly for 12 hours. I'm going to be glad we did it.
Tomorrow.
Hopefully by tomorrow, as Marianne said behind me. But this lake is probably a great place. There's tons of fish hitting out on the surface. I got like 5 casts out, and both flies got tangled in trees underwater. And with 2 flies lost, my hand's numb. It's just not worth it. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Ugh. Go ahead, Aslan. All this rain is probably really good for us in the fire season, but Yellowstone's had historic flooding last week, probably not getting better this week, which is why we're here in the first place. We plan to go to a different trail, but the park is closed. But the weather would have been just as unpleasant there as it is here, so. It is beautiful though with these clear creeks. It's this way, Aslan. This way. Clear and very cold creeks. And I'm very lucky to be married to a woman who's willing to come out and do this kind of thing with me while carrying our child. She's hiked this whole trail with me, spent the night on the ground at about a 45-degree angle.
That was probably the worst place we've ever set up our tent, ever.
But we were hiding from the hail, so I guess it was.
It was better than getting hit in the back and the face with the hail. That was pretty painful.
Not many people are willing to experience this, so it's a uniquely us. I think it's a good thing we're here. I was telling myself because my hands are freezing and I feel very unpleasant, discomforted. But comfort is a bad thing, and most of the time, unless it's well fought off by things like this.
I'm looking forward to the comfort of a hot shower and pizza.
Hot shower and pizza. Just down this way. Making us tougher, I hope. That's one cute pup.
He's getting back tonight.
Well, there were a few times where I thought we were gonna die, but the sun is out, the wildflowers are blooming, we're almost back to the trailhead, so I guess things do actually get better. You find yourself in a time of life that's a lot like a freezing hailstorm on a lake. Just keep pushing through and maybe it'll be back to feeling like summer again at some point.
It doesn't feel like summer.
Well, this is what summer feels like here.
This is spring.
It's 47 degrees with a good breeze. Summer. This is definitely spring. Only in spring in Montana can you be sort of uncomfortably hot, which I'm not right now, but could be in the future, and in a blizzard in the same day. Like yesterday. Let's see what isn't still too numb to look forward. This way. There you go. Turned into a much nicer day as the day went on. Sorry. Aslan's coughing because he's been eating random things the entire time we've been driving. The entire time we've been doing whatever form of transit we've been doing.
Walking. My feet and my hips would like it to be very clear that we've been walking. Quit eating the grass! Weirdo. You're not even remotely an elk.
Yeah.
Oh.
We made it back.
We did.
Against all the odds.
Against every last one of the odds.
It was kind of brutal. But we did survive.
I did put out Aslan in that shirt.
We did get a little dirty. Well, luckily we walked through so much water, it did clean us off a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Whew. It's a beautiful place, and it was an experience. Where we is?
Cloud West Pizzeria. I was hoping to find a
Nothing says it. Yeah. We started our hike at Canyon Street Grill and we finished it here. As is appropriate.